I'm going to tell you something that'll shock you. The reason Jews don't accept Christ as Messiah isn't because they're stubborn. Do you truly understand why they were Christ killers? It's because Yahweh himself closed their eyes, and he did it for you. Let me explain. First, understand this. God made an everlasting covenant with Abraham through Isaac, not Ishmael, not the sons of Keturah, one anointed seed line. Genesis 17:19 says, I will establish my covenant with Isaac, the anointed seed, the Christed seed. Galatians 3:16 tells us the promise wasn't to many seeds, but to one anointed seed, Isaac. Second, yes, the sons of Isaac broke the terms of Moses' covenant with Israel. But Paul warns us in Galatians 3:17 that the Mosaic covenant given to Israel with conditions 430 years later could not annul the previous covenant given to Abraham with no conditions. The promise to Abraham stands forever. No amount of law-keeping or law-breaking can cancel it. Third, the prophets foretold a time when the Jewish people would have eyes but not be allowed to see or hear the gospel. Isaiah 6:9-10. Romans 11:7-8 says God gave them a spirit of stupor, eyes that should not see and ears that should not hear. Why? So the purposes of God concerning the lost sheep of Israel, mistakenly called Gentiles, would have time to return as prodigal sons. Fourth, Ezekiel 37 tells of a time when both the Jews and the Israelites would be reunited into one stick, all 12 tribes, and that this would happen at the second coming of Christ. Verse 16, take one stick for Judah and one stick for Ephraim. Join them into one stick. Fifth, Zechariah 12:10 tells of the time when all Jews will see the scars in Yeshua's hands. They will look on me, whom they have pierced, and they will mourn for him as one mourns for an only son. Isaiah 66:8 says an entire nation will be born in one day. That day is coming. Sixth and seventh, Christ came, and the Jews were blinded by their father Yahweh. It was his plan that only a small remnant would hear. Romans 11:25 says, blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in. Paul tells us in Romans 11:11, if the Jews had been allowed to accept Christ, then the lost tribes would have remained lost forever, without hope of restoration. Eighth, Paul declares in Romans 11:1-2 that the Jews took a great fall, a great stumble for our sake, and we are never to boast about their inability to accept Christ. Then he tells us, if their fall means riches for the world, how much greater riches will their fullness bring? Verse 15, what will their acceptance be but life from the dead? Finally, Paul reveals the great mystery in Romans 11:28. Concerning the gospel they are enemies for your sake, but concerning the election they are beloved for the sake of the fathers. They are still the elect of God because of Abraham's covenant. Beware of the Antichrist spirit that ever convinces you otherwise. So here's my question to this Jew-hating world. If God blinds a man and closes his ears to the gospel, can that man be blamed for rejecting the gospel? The answer is no. Stop hating the Jews. They're fulfilling God's plan, and their awakening is coming.